working as assistant professor in SMS College of Nursing. Today we are going to do one case study discussion in OG.
My patient name was Nitya. She is 23 years old and occupation of housewife, nationality Hindu and religion Indian and Hindu. Address was Ganapati. She is hospital admitted in hospital CMCH and admitted date is 21/10/2025 at the ward postnatal ward. Next LMP is 15/1/25 and EDD is 22/10/25. The obstetrical score is G1, P1, L1 and A0, which is primary mother, and just week of gestation is 38 weeks. And the type of delivery was LSES, and the sex of the baby is male. Next, family medical history. There is no significant gestation diabetics and gestational hypertension and anemia, multiple pregnancies. And present obstetrical history is antenatal. The mother was confirmed pregnancy of second month, first awakening at 5th month, and she takes immunization vaccine at 2 doses, and injection TT at second month trimester. She took iron and folic tablets. Lightning felt at 4th month of the pregnancy. Next, intranatal contraction commented 21/5, and there is a good uterine contraction at the type of delivery, which is LSES, and the baby is male, and the baby's weight is 3.190 kg. Upper score was for 1 minute is 8 and 5th minute is 9 for 10. And postnatal, the mother vital signs is stable and passed urine within half an hour and meconium in 2 hours. Lochia was Gubra with normal amount. The baby is feeding well and the baby mother is healthy. And physical examination, the mother's weight is 165 centimeter and weight is 73.10 kg. Coming to breast examination, the size was enlarged and symmetrical. No, not visible veins are present, and the areola, primary areola is darkly pigmented, and secondary areola is also darkly pigmented. And Montgomery tuberculosis is normal, and nipple protactility is reducted, and no engorgement is present. Cholesterol is expressed, and nodules and lumps are absent. Axillary nodes also not palpable. Discoloration is absent, and any no other any complaints. The bleeding was color which is bright red, and the amount is normal amount, or no order is present. After assessing the patient, the doctor has diagnosed that is oligohydramnios for the patient, and planned immediate LSES for the patient. By the scan, they have confirmed the oligohydramnios, and the investigations like hemoglobin, platelets counts, RBCs, WBCs, and blood sugar also are taken for the patient. And the medications were given for the patient is iron tablet, folic tablets, and paracetamol for the pain, and omeprazole. Coming to the case, the definition of the case, oligohydramnios, it is defined as the reduced amniotic fluid volume of less than 200 ml of at term or EFI 45 cm at 20 oligohydramnios.
The amniotic fluid decreased below 500 ml is oligohydramnios.
Good. Anyone? Any other point? What are the causes and risk factors?
Causes: fetal urinary tract infection, placental insufficiency, rupture of membranes, post-term pregnancy, maternal dehydration.
Any idea about risk factors of oligohydramnios?
Yes, ma'am. Fetal growth restriction, fetal distress, decreased risk of cesarean delivery.
Okay, so this is about causes and risk factors. So what is the main patient condition in the antenatal ward? That is distress. So fetal distress happen because of oligohydramnios. If it is decreased amniotic fluid, the baby will not circulate in the womb itself. So automatically baby get suffocated. So fetal distress will be happen. Fetal distress means it includes bradycardia and tachycardia. What do you mean tachycardia? Increased heart rate. Bradycardia means decreased heart rate. So both we can say it is a fetal distress. So this is the main reason. Immediately we can go with the cesarean section, emergency cesarean section by the physician order.
Now we are going to see about pathophysiology and which is placental insufficiency, which leads to hypoxia, redistribution of the blood to vital organs such as brain and heart, and leads to decreased renal blood flow, and lastly leads to decreased urinary output for the child.
Okay. So this is pathophysiology. Due to any reason, the placental insufficiency it takes place, hypoxia. So definitely baby goes for the fetal distress.
Anyone knows about signs and symptoms of the oligohydramnios?
The symptoms are decreased fetal movement, uterine size smaller than the expected, and leakage fluid.
This is the signs and symptoms of oligohydramnios. The size, everything it will be reduced because oligohydram there is no amniotic fluid or less amniotic fluid. So the growth of the baby also it is very less.
And about diagnostic evaluation?
The diagnostic evaluation of oligohydramnios includes history collection, physical examination, ultrasound, and amniotic fluid index.
So mainly we have to do a history collection and physical examination. So we can identify the size of the abdomen and we have to check the fundal height. So with that we can confirm the gestation weeks, how much it is there, appropriate gestation week or not, and amniotic fluid index we can use with the help of scan. So with that we can identify the baby have a oligohydramnios. So oligohydramnia, if it is there, the main complication will raise the fetal distress. So whenever the baby goes for the distress, so we can go with the emergency management. So this is the diagnostic evaluation.
Tell about management of oligohydramnios.
Monitor amniotic fluid levels, fetal monitoring, address underlying causes, consider amniotic infusion, plan delivery. This is management of oligohydramnios.
Tell about nursing management.
The nursing care for oligohydramnios are monitor the fetal well-being, encourage the hydration, educate patient, and support and follow.
So our nursing care is very important in the oligohydramnia patients. So we have to administer IV fluids and we have to check the IO chart, how much intake and output it will be there, and we have to check the fetal heart rate with the help of NST. What is NST?
Non-stress test.
Yes, non-stress test is very important in the third trimester. So we have to check the fetal heart rate. If it is fetal distress, it is there, immediately we have to report to the doctor and we have to make the immediate management of the patients or mother. So this is about oligohydramnios.
Hope everyone understand about the case of oligohydramnios. Thank you.
So did you understand the oligohydramnia? What is oligohydramnios? What are the causes? What is main management we have to do it? And as a nurse, how to check or what to check for the oligohydramnios? Yes? Thank you.